Someone must have done that, surely. Oh, yeah. Yeah, at some point. Someone must have.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against Arsenal this weekend. And we'll start off with Ben from Sky.
Thanks, Andy. Sean, first of all, an update on the players, obviously having the weekend off. Have you managed to get any more bodies back ahead of this game?
Yeah, and a few played in a game the other day, 5 or 6, or I think it was 5 actually, with Seamus playing some minutes, and Broja and Youssef going well, and Pato and Jake played as well. So a number of bodies out there, so that was good. The game-wise, obviously we wanted to play the game, but safety obviously had to play its part. And, I was here in the morning, the wind was horrendous, to be honest. So, yeah, they had to call it. So that was a blow for everyone, I think, so everyone was gearing up for it.
Yeah, how frustrating was it? Because I'm sure you did a lot of prep. It's a massive occasion, and I guess there's even more of a spotlight on it, given when it does happen, it will be the final Merseyside derby.
Yeah, we'd come off a big result in the week as well, which added a bit more feel to it, maybe, So, yeah, it was a blow for sure. I think all parties wanted it to be played, but like I say, safety had to come first and understand why. So, yeah, we park that and we move forwards until the next time.
Yeah, well, the challenges come thick and fast. Obviously, would have been Liverpool. Now it is Arsenal. What challenge do they present?
Well, obviously, there's a lot been spoken about their set-piece prowess, but I think that's been there for a while. And, then it's been suggested they've not been as deadly, if you like, and as clinical in their general play. But I haven't seen that big a difference. I think they're a very good outfit. They've been for a long while now. They know what they're doing. They've got very good individuals as well as a team feel. So they're certainly a force to be reckoned with, without a doubt. And we know that you've got to go to these places and play well.
On the set pieces, obviously I've known you long enough to know that sometimes that is used as a bit of a critical tag, isn't it, to call a team a set-piece specialist? I know that at Burnley, perhaps at times, your team was accused of being that in a more negative way. I mean, how do you look at that as a thing, as a weapon?
I'm not bothered, is it? People just twist and turn situations to their liking. That's the way life is. We all do it in some degree or another. Finding different ways of winning has always been what I've been, trying to achieve with whatever groups I'm used to working with. But the facts of football have been there for a long time, and broadly speaking, that sort of 25 to 30% kind of their area is usual for set pieces across the board. So therefore, why wouldn't you use them? And definitely, why wouldn't Arsenal use them? They've obviously done a lot of work, or it seems apparent they've done a lot of work on them. But the thing that it often goes down to, not always, sometimes there are certain, clever set piece or set piece catch people out and that sort of thing, quick set pieces, whatever it may be. But often it's down to delivery and the intent of someone to put it, attack the ball. And that's always something that I've preached strongly to the groups I've worked with. It's not just about trying to be clever with your movement. It's about just the simple basics, putting a top delivery in and attacking it, and I think often that sometimes gets overlooked. But back to the brand theme, I mean, it's, I know the box I live in. I'm all right with that. That's the way it goes. I'm more than okay with everything.
Just finally then, on that, I've just been chatting with James Tarkowski, and he was saying that yourself carry a threat from set pieces too. How much, or do you do any extra preparation for a game like this in both boxes on set piece?
No, I think the preparation is really good anyway. I think the staff have been doing it a long time. I leave it to Woney and Stoney to do that, and the analysts, to be fair to them. They do a lot of analytics like most clubs do now. I don't think we're trying to do anything revolutionary. We're trying to work with the players we've got and find a way of being effective, and I think we have done that. And we'd sort of come away from it a little bit this season, and then popped up, the last game with again, the cutting edge. Sorry, and as I said, very good delivery, and people who want to attack it score a goal, and and that was on show. So yeah, we'll continue to work hard on that area, but it's not just that area. We're working hard on all different areas to try and score goals, because we obviously haven't scored enough goals from open play, and that's an ongoing theme that we've got to correct for certainly since I've been and before I've been at the club.
Sean, just a couple of specifics on the team news regarding Keane and Garner and Tim. Are they available?
Yeah, Keano's come through his. He was, to be honest, he was touch and go to be involved the last game, but we felt it was probable that he didn't get involved in that. But he's been working hard. Tim's a bit longer down the road than he was, but he's still not on the grass yet with us, and that's going to be a little bit of a while. And Jimmy's the same, but they are making progress.
I think the final 4 games of the year, calendar year, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, and Forest, obviously all in the top 5. But in those sort of games, do you look at those and relish them rather than thinking, this is tough?
I think you've got to learn to relish all parts of the Premier League, and all the different situations, the conundrums that can come up. And I think that's part and parcel of the joy and the strength of the Premier League, is that diversity and how the groups of games come for each different side. I said recently it's been our question at the moment for this tough run. There'll be another team out there hits a tough run. Some of the big clubs, I mentioned, strangely got a bit of stick for trying to mention that Pep's having a tough run. Tough runs can come out of nowhere. I certainly wasn't questioning Pep Guardiola, I can assure you of that. But it's a tough run, it's a tough situation, and that can come at any time. So you have to relish it. You have to relish the challenge and take it on. Staff, of course, as well, and, playing our part in constantly looking for ways to try and make it work and try and win games.
Appreciate Arsenal's not your concern, but I just wondered from the Premier League point of view whether you think they're right in there in terms of winning it, particularly.
I think you're right from the start. It's not my concern. It never has been. That's right, and it's nothing to do with me. They can help themselves. I'm working hard here and never have stopped working hard here. So our focus has to remain here. What others do is up to them.
And the victory last week,
Excuse me.
How much a difference does a victory like that make to the mood around the place? Staff, players, everybody?
Yeah, the mood hasn't been bad, to be honest. It's, we've had some tricky times, but this club's I've had some tricky times since I got here. There's been some really tough challenges. There's still more to come because of the nature of where we are and the noise around the place. So I think all it does is reinforce, actually, rather than build it, it just reinforces the good feel, the good work that the team, the staff, the way that we look after each other in this place. It just reinforces that. When you win it, it adds to that feeling. It adds to as I said, reinforces and strengthens the feeling of a group and the connection that's important in a team. And I think that's what it does. And a reminder as well, it reminds everyone we can score goals, we can be active, and we can be, play well. We are allowed to, free ourselves up from the noise and take it on. And I think that was a good reminder. But no, the strength of the group has been on show since I got here, and they've been through some big challenges and still going and still fighting and still working hard.
Thanks, We'll go to Julia.
So now you've got a fuller squad almost now, I would say. You've kind of got maybe 2 still out there. How much is that now going to change what you can do and what you are doing? Does this mean we might see a little bit more a Sean Dyche Everton lineup that you would have wanted from day one?
No, I've been trying to give a Sean Dyche Everton lineup that I can with the players that we've got. It's what fits them, not what fits me, and turning that into a group that can win games. We haven't done it as freely as we'd hoped this season, but a lot of challenges in the group and a lot of different players trying to mould them into Premier League players and a team. And the idea of having more players is more competition. That's good. More chance for us to operate in slightly different ways or look at the team tactically in different ways, and more opportunity for the individuals to affect it. So that mixture, we hope, certainly continues the competitive edge to us, but adds to it.
The competitive edge as well, we've spoken about finding goals. I know there was 4 against Wolves after we spoke about that. Broja, though, has looked bright when he came on. I know you've told us you've seen him lots and you've been impressed with what you've seen, and he plays in that behind closed doors game. Has he now got enough minutes from that in order to be able to start?
He'll be around it. He's never been out the thinking other than being injured, obviously, when he can't be. But no, I only got him on just to give him a feel of it. It's a long way to go yet, but he's showing that he wants to be competitive in our group and then competitive in the games he plays in. But it was a little cameo, and hopefully he'll get more and build what he's doing here.
When you say the box you live in, I just wondered with that, do you think there's an assumption more about your style of management and what sort of play you come out with, rather than people actually watching and looking what's going on?
Whether there is or there isn't, it's just the way that the industry works. We're all different, and it's probably the most easy way of dealing with it is to put people in certain areas of what they're thinking are, put them in certain situations or imaginary situations. That's just the way it goes. But we all do it in life, about different situations. Could be your friends, could be anyone. So I'm not bothered with it. That's the way it goes. I certainly don't try and break anyone's opinion. They're allowed to make their opinion. It's no problem to me.
Dominic Calvert, Lewin, there's always headlines around his contract situation. We all keep talking about takeovers pending. There are a lot of rumours, reports, claims at the moment about
which ones now. Who's sending
about
the rumours? Who?
I know you're not on social media. You go on there. There's a lot of claims about
No,
takeovers.
not big claims on social media
Yes,
about what's
there are.
happening. I'm very surprised.
My phone keeps going about them, none of which are true. But I just wondered, with that situation, if it is coming to a close and the fact that Dominic is out of contract at the end of this season, can those talks be looked at? Is he asking for those talks? What is the situation with that?
The situation is an ongoing one, like with most players, where we'll have to wait and see. He's got his, things to think about. The club have, obviously, possibly, and their ownership still not there yet. We're waiting to see. That might play its part. So all them things have to combine. He's working hard. We want him to continue working hard. That bit's a given, or it should be. I'm part of a competitive group, so. I've been down this road many times, with players, and I'm sure the club have as well. So we'll manage it the best we can and see what comes next.
Just quickly, finally, from me, what is the time frame then for Tim and James for their return?
There isn't at the moment because of the nature of their injuries, but they're both doing well. They're both making progress. Pleasure.
Thanks, Julia. We'll go to Will.
Hi, Sean. Just on touching on contracts, I think there's 11 players in your squad who are out of contract, including loan players. Does that have any effect, do you think, on the players thinking about the future, or have they just got to focus on the here and now?
Well, whatever way you look at it, is what should be in theory, because obviously each player is different as an individual, but whether you're in contract or out of contract, your goal should be the same: playing well, getting in the team, playing well, playing consistently, and playing for the club. And that shouldn't change. And sometimes you could even argue that if their contract's up, that extra bit of incentive, because if your contract's up and nothing's quite happening or not a lot of noise about you, then you need to create noise. So I don't think it's always a terrible situation by any means, or a questionable situation. It's just a reality at the moment. I think everyone knows, probably deeper than me, the history or the recent history of contracts and players at this club, and money well spent, money not so well spent, all the different angles of each different player that's come and gone in some occasions here. I think we're just down a different road at the moment, and we've got to wait and see. Obviously, it's not been so helpful with the ownership changeover, because you've got to wait and see, what the owners want to do and what their situation is. Should they come and take the club, which is looking very possible like it's going to happen, but until it's done, it's not done, so we're just going to wait and see.
Just under 3 weeks until the January transfer window opens. Have you and Kevin Felwell been discussing what you might be able to do yet at all?
Yeah, but as I said recently, the current situation wouldn't allow much to be done anyway, because that's the nature of what the situation of the club is financially. That may change. We'll just have to wait and see.
On Youssef Chamisi, is he ready to be back in the squad? And he's obviously, last season it was a bit of a development season for him. He's missed a lot of football. Would he potentially be one to go out in January and earn some senior?
No, his first steps are on the way now. In fact, more than his first steps. He completed another game the other day and did very well. I still think he's developing play. He still wants to. Well, we want him to be part of that group. He had a very good pre-season. Very unfortunate to get the injury he got, and he's worked very hard to get fit. So we'll take it on as an ongoing basis. But he's training really well and working hard.
Finally, for me, one of your loan players, Jack Harrison. In the summer, both you and Jack said you still think there's more to come. He hasn't been a regular starter of late. He hasn't registered a goal or assist yet this season. Why do you think he's not quite shown his best so far?
Yeah, I mean, he's still working hard. He's a very honest professional, very good professional, and just trying to find them moments for him, because I think he works so hard in training. He's so honest. If anything, he's a player that, I've this with Dwight McNeil, because I've known him a long time. They always put too much pressure on themselves, and sometimes you've got to release that. And maybe there's a bit of that, when he gets out there, to just find that enjoyment in what it is, not get so tight, especially in the top third of the pitch. Because there's no two ways about it. If you look at his past, his stats, his facts, he is capable of goals and he is capable of assists. And our job is to free him up and find the role that he can find more of them from. But no, he works very hard. He's a top professional and a very important part of the group.
Thanks, Will. Any further questions in the open section before we move on? No?